Imagine a world where AI budgets are bigger than human salaries, people are allegedly insider trading on the Super Bowl, governments are borrowing like there's no tomorrow, and Ferrari decides, yeah, let's go fully electric. That's not sci-fi, that's literally right now. And the scary part? All of this collides directly with your job, your savings, and your vote. Welcome back to the comment section with Thomas Paul. Today we're asking a pretty simple question with a very uncomfortable answer. Are we heading into a debt-driven death spiral or a new golden age? And what does that actually mean for you? Let's start with the AI elephant in the room. Big companies have quietly cranked up their token budgets. That's what they pay to run AI models, to the point where, in some teams, the AI spend is now larger than what they pay the actual people. So the software bill is out-earning the staff. Fun. Here's where things get interesting. A recent study followed workers in a tech company using AI tools. The result wasn't AI took our jobs. It was AI made everyone work faster and longer. People took on more tasks. They worked later into the evening. They felt more productive but also more burned out. So instead of replacing jobs, AI is stuffing more work into the same human. This is why I get suspicious whenever someone sells AI passive income or set-and-forget automation. In my early 30s, when everyone chased the next big thing, I put money into something boring and unfashionable. It didn't moon. It just worked. Slowly. That's when I learned. Real progress looks like slow compounding, not magic buttons. But it's even getting worse because when AI becomes a line item bigger than salaries, incentives change. CFOs stop asking, how many people do we need, and start asking, how many prompts can we shove through this system? That can mean more productivity, sure. It can also mean round-the-clock pressure and a bigger gap between companies that can afford the AI arms race and those that can't. Now let's jump to an entirely different battlefield, prediction markets and the Super Bowl. In theory, prediction markets are beautiful. You bet on events, an election, a game, a policy outcome, and the odds reflect crowd wisdom. In practice, we just got a taste of the dark side. And here's where things take a step further. Around the Super Bowl, some crypto prediction markets saw weird, suspicious trading patterns right before key moments. Regulators and journalists started asking, was this basically insider trading, but for a football game? We're not talking about a mate at the pub with a hunch. We're talking about people who might genuinely know game plans, injuries, even calls, allegedly placing big bets. It doesn't stop at sports. There have been claims of people close to military operations using markets to bet on strikes and conflicts. So now we're in a world where real-world violence, politics, and profit all blend together on betting platforms. Is that price discovery, or just a legal and moral nightmare? But then the unbelievable thing happened. When authorities start stepping in, they have no clean playbook. If someone trades on inside info in stocks, that's clear, it's illegal. But if someone bets on a war they already know is coming, on a decentralized platform run on code, who do you even arrest? There's this collision between old-school law and new-school markets, and it's nowhere near resolved. Now zoom out from all of that chaos and look at the big macro picture. The U.S. Congressional Budget Office has just given us a lovely bedtime story. Rising debt, rising interest costs, and deficits that don't really go away. Debt relative to the size of the economy has climbed dramatically. The interest bill alone is competing with major government programs. Here's where things get interesting. Some people read that and say, that's it, we're in a debt spiral, game over. Others look at the same numbers and say, relax. We've had high debt before. If we grow fast enough, especially with AI, we can outgrow the problem. This could be the start of a new golden age. Both sides are technically looking at the same spreadsheet. The difference is what they believe about growth. On top of that, the jobs picture is weird. Headline unemployment looks fine. But dig into it and you see people juggling multiple part-time gigs, wage growth that doesn't quite keep up with the cost of living, and huge regional differences. So are we booming? Or just papering over cracks with government spending and cheap credit? But it's even getting worse. Because higher interest rates mean refinancing that mountain of debt gets more expensive. The government is rolling over old, cheap debt into new, expensive debt, a bit like putting your 0% credit card balance onto one with 25% APR and hoping no one notices. At the same time, voters on both sides keep demanding more defense, more healthcare, more benefits, more industrial policy. Something eventually has to give: taxes, spending, inflation, or all three. And in the middle of this supposedly fragile economy, what goes viral? A fully electric Ferrari. One of the most famous luxury petrol brands on earth is now saying, yes, you can have your supercar without the engine noise. And here's where things take a step further. On one level, it's a symbol. If rich buyers are lining up to pay insane amounts for an electric status symbol, clearly the high end of the economy is doing just fine. On another level, it shows where the real bets are going, into high-tech manufacturing, batteries, AI-designed components, and brands that sell feelings, not metal. This is the kind of thing that could drive growth in a golden age scenario. Cutting-edge industries, huge R&D, new supply chains. But then, he said this unbelievable thing. Here's the twist. All of this takes massive capital. Governments are borrowing to subsidize green tech and chips. Companies are borrowing to build factories, data centers, and AI infrastructure. If that investment pays off, the growth can justify the debt. If it doesn't, we're left with empty warehouses, bloated balance sheets, and a tax base that can't cover the interest. This is exactly why I don't trust "this time it's different" narratives, bullish or bearish. When I bought that boring investment years ago, everyone else told me I was missing out. Turns out not losing money is weirdly underrated. Quick side note, if you're watching all this and thinking, I'd love to run a channel breaking down this madness, but I don't want to be on camera, this video was created with Fludge.io, the same system that powers this entire channel. It researches, writes scripts, makes thumbnails, plugs everything into an AI avatar, and uploads to YouTube automatically, while you stay in control at every step. Finance, news, history, hobbies, whatever your thing is. You steer the topics, review the content, hit publish. If that sounds like your kind of unfair advantage, check out Fludge.io. Here's where things get interesting. So, what does all of this actually mean for you, personally? First, expect work to intensify, not vanish. AI is more likely to make your day denser than to make you redundant overnight. Plan your skills around that reality. Second, treat prediction markets and meme trades as entertainment, not a retirement plan. If regulators are confused, you and I are not getting a soft landing when it goes wrong. Third, watch the debt story like a hawk. Rising interest costs, persistent deficits, and political promises that don't add up will eventually show up as higher taxes, cuts, or inflation. And finally, use the Ferrari moment as a signal, not a distraction. When a legacy brand overhauls itself around tech, that's a clue where the long-term capital and long-term jobs are heading. None of this is financial advice. This show is for education and commentary only. Always do your own research before investing or making big money decisions. Now I want to hear from you. Are we sliding into a debt spiral, or are we at the start of a messy new golden age? Drop your take in the comments. One word: spiral or golden, and tell me why. If you found this breakdown useful, hit subscribe, give the video a like, and I'll see you in the next one.